It was Christmas morning, the kind of morning where the air carries both warmth and silence. The kind where families gather, laugh, and pretend the world outside doesn't exist. I had been waiting all year to see my son, his wife, and their children. They live in a world so far from mine now. Penthouse apartments, private jets, headlines in magazines. And me? I'm just a simple old woman with a small house, a creaky porch, and a heart that never stopped loving my boy. I sat at their long dining table, surrounded by glittering decorations and the faint smell of cinnamon and pine. The children tore open their gifts, squealing in delight, while I quietly watched from my chair, holding a cup of tea as if it were the only thing grounding me. My son walked over, dressed in an expensive sweater that probably cost more than my monthly pension, and with a smile that seemed too polished to be real, he asked me, "Mom, did you get your $8,000 allowance this month?" The word struck me like ice water. Allowance? $8,000? I froze for a second, confused, thinking I might have misheard him. I live on my modest savings, stretching every penny, sometimes choosing between paying the electricity bill and fixing a leak in the roof. What allowance was he talking about? I forced a laugh and said, "What allowance, dear?" And just like that, the room changed. My daughter-in-law, who had been chatting cheerfully with a guest, went pale. Her fork clattered against her plate, and she avoided my eyes. My son blinked, clearly taken aback. "The monthly transfer," he said slowly, as if explaining something obvious. "I told Clara to make sure you get it every month. 8,000. Have you not been receiving it?" I felt my heart sink, my body trembling. No, I hadn't. Not once. My son's voice was genuine, but my daughter-in-law's silence screamed louder than anything. That was when I realized. He truly believed he had been supporting me all these years, while I had been living alone, struggling, and quietly ashamed of my poverty, too proud to ever ask for his help. I turned to her, and our eyes finally met. Hers were filled with something. Fear, guilt, maybe even anger that the truth had slipped. And in that moment everything made sense. She had kept it from me. Maybe she'd diverted the money. Maybe she never wanted me to have it. Perhaps in her eyes I didn't fit in their world, didn't deserve a slice of their wealth, not even if it was from my own son. My hand shook as I placed the cup down. "No, Daniel," I said quietly. "I haven't received anything." His face drained of color. He looked at Clara then, his jaw tightening. The silence in that room was so thick I could hear my own heartbeat. The rest of Christmas passed in a blur. My son stormed into another room with her. Their hushed, heated voices carried through the walls while I sat with the children, forcing a smile I didn't feel. The little ones handed me cookies, oblivious to the storm brewing inside their golden home. Later that night, Daniel came to me, his eyes red, his voice trembling. He apologized over and over. He swore he never knew. He hugged me like a boy again, like the little child who once clung to me on his first day of school. And I believed him. But when I looked over his shoulder, I saw Clara standing in the doorway, her expression cold, almost resentful, as if I had stolen something from her by simply existing. I lay awake in their guest room that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering how life had twisted this way. I raised my son with love, with sacrifice. I never asked him for anything, not even when my hands ached from working late nights, not even when the roof leaked, not even when the winters were so cold I wrapped myself in old quilts to stay warm. And all this time he thought he was helping me, while his wife ensured I stayed in quiet suffering. The truth is, money doesn't just reveal character, it magnifies it. My son, for all his billions, still has a heart that remembers where he came from. But Clara? She sees me as an inconvenience, a shadow from a past she once erased. I went home after that Christmas with mixed feelings. Daniel promised me things would change, that he would handle everything personally. But my heart carries a heaviness now that no amount of money can lift. Because the real wound isn't about the allowance or even the betrayal. It's about the realization that in the grand house of my son's life, there are locked doors where I will never be welcome. As I sit here now, I wonder, was I too trusting, too quiet, too invisible all these years? Maybe. But I know one thing. Family should never feel like charity, and love should never have conditions attached. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy honesty or kindness or respect. And so, if there's anything I've learned from that frozen Christmas morning, it's this: wealth may build walls, but truth will always find its cracks. And sometimes it seeps through at the most unexpected moments, shattering the illusion of a perfect family. Tell me, if you were in my place, would you forgive? Or would you forever remember the silence of a daughter-in-law who froze, not because she didn't know, but because she did?